Okay guys, I'm going to show you why I think being in right now, expecting more upside is very risky, why I believe that we're going to be breaking below 40K. Remember, 40K is a very key support level. If we break that, we have much more downside. I'm going to cover this in detail. Certain conditions have to be met for this to happen. I'm going to show you why I believe those conditions are about to be met, and why we will be breaking below 40K. If you watched yesterday's video, I told you that 44,250 was an ideal point to short. This ring was a lot of resistance. This yellow line was a lot of resistance. That's double resistance. I'll put a link up this video now if you want to check it out. You see we did get rejected from this point. I'll tell you right now, your current major resistance to watch is right here around 44,055. We get above that, expect more upside. Obviously, I'm going to give you upside and downside targets, but I'm going to show you why I believe that we have much more downside. Remember this yellow line right here that we're holding resistance under, right? This was the same line I told you to get out at 67K. I told you to get out up here at 69K. I told you to buy in at 45K. I said get out at 51K. And I told you recently to buy in at 39.5K. Listen, I'm not going to go through each one of those videos, but I will have a link to each one of these videos and these calls I made in the description if you want to go back and watch them. But let me show you why I believe we have more downside. If you notice, I have this vertical yellow line right here. This is on the 7th of January. So you notice Bitcoin was dropping, right? We started coming down. And then on the 7th, things changed. Bitcoin started pushing up. Now we're at key resistance. And remember, we're at key resistance right now, very strong resistance. But January 7th, this is the DXY of the US dollar. If you'll notice, this blue line was support, 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 support. We broke below that support, right? Once we broke down, this is the 7th right here, January 7th. Once we broke support, Bitcoin started pushing up. Again, Bitcoin is has inverse correlation with the DXY. If the dollar is pushing up, Bitcoin's coming down. If the dollar starts dropping, Bitcoin pushes up. We're at key resistance right now, coming up on key support for the DXY. And I've told you this plenty of times, guys. Always look left. The more times a line is tested, the further back, the stronger it will hold as support. And if we zoom out, look how many times this line has been tested and how far back. This is the 17th of December 2020. Support, resistance, support, 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 resistance, resistance, support, support, resistance, support, support. That is a very strong support level, and we are about to test it. So what I'm getting at, obviously if the dollar is coming down, Bitcoin's pushing up. Now, yes, the support level is a little below us. It is possible if we come down to test this, we could have a little bit of upside for Bitcoin. But once we hit this point, I expect the dollar to start pushing back up, which means Bitcoin is going to come down. Now, yes, I will tell you this. If we break this support with the US dollar, you would want to be long on Bitcoin. Again, if the dollar breaks this support and comes down, Bitcoin is going to push up. But if we hold support here, which I believe that is what's going to happen, Bitcoin will come down. And keep this in mind, if the dollar is pushing up while the markets are coming down, that's going to cause Bitcoin to drop even harder. And remember, Bitcoin follows US markets. This is the Dow Jones. We're in a rising wedge right now. This was a very key resistance. If you watched some videos back, I told you to short the Dow at 36,800. We did come down. We found support right here when Bitcoin bottomed at around 39,500. So again, remember, Bitcoin follows the US markets. If we break this support right here around 36,300, remember, if markets are coming down, people jump into the US dollar as a hedge. So if the markets start dropping, that's going to cause the dollar to push up even faster, which means Bitcoin's going to come down even faster. So I just want to point that out. I'm going to cover this. So I covered this previously. We're about to get across on these moving averages on the MACD. This is on the monthly. You can see back here in 2017, 2018, notice we went from blue to red. We had a cross. This is about to take place here. So I do expect us to have much more downside just looking at the monthly chart. What I want to point out is every time we have a bear market, the structure is a little different. Back here, this is 2013, 2015. You notice this white line was support. It was support, support. We came up, tested as resistance, and then we had a drop. Once we broke that support, we dropped a total of, it was around 62%, right? Well, this was 2017, 2018. See, the structure was different, but we did have support. support, support, support. We broke that support and we dropped. We dropped a total of, we came down almost 60%. This right here, this was this is 2019, 2020. Notice this was support, became resistance, resistance, and we had a drop. We dropped actually down to the 300 weekly moving average, but that was a drop of, that was around 57%. So you notice every time we break our key support in a bear market, we drop about 50%. So this structure, again, every structure is different. You see this is our support. We're coming down to support soon, it looks like it. But my point is, if we break the support, if every time we break support we drop 50%, 56, 50 to 60%, once we break this support, it would 41% would take us to the 200 weekly moving average. If we drop 50 to 60%, that takes us to the 300 weekly. So again, what I'm saying is, and this is very possible, once we break this point, guys, this is your target, the 200 weekly or the 300 weekly. I do believe we're headed to that point. So let me give you some key support and resistance levels to pay attention to. I told you in that previous video that the 50-week moving average was your resistance to watch. We did get rejected at that point. Notice we found support. This was, you can see back here, this was support, 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 which also happened to be the 50-week moving average, and that was currently our support right now. So if we break 43,390, obviously we have much more downside. I would like to point out, guys, if you look at the bigger picture, if you'll notice when we dropped, right, we topped out around 69K. We came all the way down, tested the 50-week, pushed up, got rejected at the 21-week, came down below the 50-week, tested the 50-week, and we got rejected. So again, I think there's a lot more downside. We have a lot of resistance above us. The US dollar is about to find support. So again, guys, that's what I'm saying. I think we have a lot more downside. So let me give you some key support resistance levels to pay attention to. Let me zoom in on this chart again. So if we do push up, all right, you're going to have very, very strong resistance right here, around basically 45,000. Let me zoom out and show you why. This line right here has been a lot of resistance. This right here was resistance, 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 flipped as support. So that will be very strong resistance if we push up. So an ideal point to short if we do push up. I do not expect that to happen, but again, just want to make sure you know where your targets are. An ideal point to short would be 45,000. This is the C1 chart, so you'll notice that this line has been resistance. So obviously if we get above, let me give you a price label here. So right now your key resistance is 43,865. If you get above that, your next resistance is going to be up here at 46,000. Remember, it's possible when we touch, it could be around this point. We have a moving average here, so 45 to 46,000 is going to be a lot of resistance. Your current support on this chart that needs to hold is 43,300. If that breaks, your next key support is going to be down here around 41,800. Every single one of these lines will be support. The most strongest support right now on this chart is right here at 39,400. This is the H1 chart. Your strongest support level right now is right here at 43,300. If that breaks, your next support level is 42,267. And your most key support level right now on this chart is 40,530. If that breaks, expect much more downside. You have this line, here, this going, let me get my brush tool, guys, sorry. You have this line right here, that's going to be very strong support, and this is very strong support. So 40,500, you can catch a bounce, but again, if this breaks, and this breaks here, 39,400, expect much more downside. But remember, guys, the DXY, if that holds support, Bitcoin is coming down. If you do want to access these charts, guys, the website is octorcrypto.com. I have a link pinned to the first comment and description. That's it. Till next video. Trade safe, trade smart. I'm out.